Hey guys, just got out of the shower and realized that I forgot to do my intro to my video, and I have no makeup and my hair's wet, so I'm using this. So this is your video for Wednesday. The worksheet numbers 11 through 22 go with it, or the problems in the workbook that will be given at the end of the video. So good luck.
Converting and adding mixed fractions. Now the worksheet only goes over adding mixed fractions, but it came to my attention that some of you may have not gone as deeply into converting fractions. It might have been covered a little bit in 4th grade. Your teacher might have covered it earlier in the year. I have not covered it with you guys. So I'm going to go over that just kind of quickly. So right here, if you want to pause the video and do these problems, if you can convert 12/7 to a fraction and convert 1 5/6 to an improper fraction, then you could actually go past these next few slides that I'm going to do. These are, this is what I was talking about, that kind of have to add so that the rest of it makes sense, okay? So if you know how to do these, then you can kind of skip ahead in the lesson a little bit, or you can just get refreshed by what I was going to go over. Otherwise, you need to watch these next few examples to talk about how to convert and why this works the way it does. Okay, so there's actually 2 ways to write a fraction, okay? For example, right here, I've got 9/5 and 1 4/5. These are actually equal fractions, okay? 9/5 is improper, that's their vocab, because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. That's not usually how we see it, because that means it's more than a whole. And then a mixed fraction is where a whole number is mixed with a fraction, okay? These 2 things are equivalent. One is not right over the other. It just depends on what you're talking about to which answer you would give. So for example, 9/5, if I at this picture down here, it's split up into fifths. So this right here is split up into 5 pieces. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I go over to this other picture, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9/5 of this pizza, or whatever these circles are indicating. Okay, so I have 9/5 here. Each one of these is a fifth. Okay, my pen doesn't want to work very well, sorry. Each one of these is a fifth. Okay, and I have 9 of them. You could also look at it like, let me do a green here, 1 4/5, which means I have a whole. So here's my 1. Let me clear that off. So here is my 1, and then I have 4/5 here. Okay, so I would do 1 plus 4/5, which is 1 4/5. So both of these are equivalent to each other. 9/5 is the same as 1 4/5. It's just how we write it. One's improper, one is mixed. Okay, and you just have to kind of look and see what kind of problem they're asking for, which one sense over another. So, and we're going to talk about how to convert. I'm going to do a little bit of pictures here to kind of see if it makes sense. Okay, so 11/6. Let's say I want to write 11/6 as a mixed fraction. So these circles are cut up into 6 pieces each. So 11 of them, if I color all of this, that means I have 6/6. And then how many more would I need to color to get to 11/6? I've already got 6. So I need how many more? Okay, hopefully you said 5. I can't hear you, so I don't know. So I would color 5 more of these. Not all the way, there's still 1 piece left. So 11/6 is the same as 1 5/6. So 11/6 is 1 5/6. Now, do you need to draw a picture every time? No, but it's something to think about in your head. You could also look and see 6 goes into 11 one time with 5 left over. 5 out of 6 left over. Okay, a couple of different ways to think about it. Okay, let's do another example. Let's look at that again. 23/10 Okay, so let's kind of think about the picture. 23 tenths. So that there's 10, that means this is how many pieces it's divided into. So there's 10 pieces. So if I color a whole thing, how many tenths do I have? I have 10 tenths. Another word, 1, right? I have one whole one here. Okay, so I've got 10. And then I look and say, okay, how many more do I need to color in? Can I color in another 10? Yes, I can. Okay, that gives me another 10 tenths. So I've got 20 tenths so far. So how many more do I need to color? I need 3 more. Okay. So I have one whole one, and then I have 3 out of 10 still left. So it'd be like if I had a pizza cut into 10 pieces. I've got 10 pieces, and 3 more pieces. So I've got 23 pieces, but each one of these is a tenth. Okay, so one of these little pieces in here, come on, one of these little pieces is 1/10. So I got 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20, 23 tenths. Okay, so 23 tenths is the same as 2 wholes with 3 tenths left over. You could also think about it, 10 goes into 23 2 times with 3 left over. Okay, so you can draw you a picture, kind of visualize the circles in your head, or you can kind of think about the division part of it. 10 goes into 23 2 times with 3 left over. Whatever makes sense to you. Okay, so that's putting improper as a mixed fraction. So now we're going to look at writing a mixed fraction as an improper fraction. So 1 1/6. 1 1/6 means I have an entire piece. Okay, there's my 1, plus 1/6. So I have a whole piece, which gives me 6 pieces, 6 out of 6, plus another 1 piece. So how many sixths do I end up with? I've got 6 here and I've got 1 here. So I have a total of 7 sixths. Okay, a little trick for this one, mathematically, is you take, okay, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 more gives me 7. And then this is kind of like my common denominator that always kind of goes with it. So I do 6. So I have 7 6. So 1 1/6 is the same as 7 6. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. Hopefully you guys have seen this before. Okay, it's not brand new, I'm hoping. Okay, 2 3/8. Get rid of all that stuff. Okay, 2 3/8. Sorry. So that means I have a whole pizza, 2 whole pizzas, plus another 3 pieces. Okay, so I have 1, 2, and then 3/8 of a pizza. So that's what it means to be 2 3/8. So I need to figure out how many total 8ths I have. So here I have 8 8ths. Here I have 8 8ths because I have 8 pieces and I've colored in all 8 of them, plus another 3/8. Okay, so in total, I have 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 3 is 19 eighths. That's my total 8ths that I have. Go back to that little trick I just showed you a minute ago. Without the picture, you could say 8 times 16, so that's my 2 wholes, 8 and 8 is 16, plus 3 more gives me 19. And then I put my denominator as 8. These are always going to match. Okay, the 8 and the 8 are always going to match. Okay, so that is converting from mixed to improper. Okay, so hopefully when we go to add mixed fractions, that actually makes sense. Okay, So at this point, I would usually say, do we have any questions? Anybody not understand anything I said? I know you can't hear me, or I can't hear you, but okay, I'm gonna move on. Okay, I do have a Zoom meeting tomorrow, so if this is craziness, remember to come see me tomorrow during my Zoom. That's Thursday. I don't know which day you're watching this video. Okay, so when you are adding mixed numbers, there's actually two methods. I'm gonna show you both methods. I've got 3 examples to show you of each method, and you get to choose which one you like the best. There is not one that's better over another. Okay, they're equally efficient. It's just which one do you like best. Okay, and I don't like telling people what they have to, how they have to do it. I want it to make sense to you. So first method requires you to add them and then convert them. Okay, so when you do this, what you're going to do is you're going to add your whole numbers, so 1 and 2, and then you're going to add your fractions, 1/2 and 5/6. You kind of keep your whole number separate from your fractions. So I am going to put my 1 plus 2 here, which gives me 3. And then I'm going to put 1/2 plus 5/6 over here. When you add these fractions, you're going to have to do what we did with Monday's video, and you're going to have to get a common denominator. So you're going to have to look and say, okay, what does 2 and 6 both go into? 2 and 6 both go into, I'm going to run out of room here. Okay, the 5 is already there, so I can bring that 5 down. It already has a 6 with it, so I can multiply by 1, but it's not necessary. And the 2, I need to get to a 6. So 3 or 2 times what? Just told you. 2 times what is 6? 3. If I multiply the bottom by 3, I have to multiply the top by 3. So this becomes 1 times 3 is 3. So I add those together and I get 8/6. Okay. Now here's the problem. 8/6 is an improper fraction. Okay, so I have 3 and 8/6. I'm going to clear this off. Okay, if you need to go back and look at it, I just don't really have enough room to work here. So I'm going to write, I have 3 and I have 8/6. This answer is not wrong, but it's not right either. Okay, this doesn't really make sense to have 8/6. Why do we have this number out here and then have more than a whole? So 8/6, I have a whole plus how many more? Okay, if I have a whole, that's 6 out of 6. I need to find my other pen. And then I have to color in however many more. So how many more do you think I should color in? 2. Okay, so that gives me my 2/6. So 8/6 is actually 1 and 2/6. And then I have to add my 3 to that. So that's where I bring my number in. So this becomes 4 and 2/6. Now I know in 4th grade you did learn to reduce to simplest form. So 2/6 actually reduces, 2 goes into both of these. So 4 and 1/3. Okay, so yes, that's a little bit more, a little bit more than we were doing Monday. Okay, it's adding on to what we did Monday. So I'm gonna do another example. So if that confused you, okay, remember I always do numerous examples to kind of in your head. So let's look at the next one. Okay, 1 and 3/4 plus 2 and 1/8. So like I said, we're doing the first method. So I'm actually gonna pull my numbers over here. So 1 plus 2 gives me 3. I'm gonna do my fractions over here. So I'm gonna do 3/4. I'm gonna try to write smaller this time. Plus 1/8. So I group my whole numbers together and I group my fractions together. If I'm adding fractions, I have to have a common denominator. So I gotta look and say, okay, so what does 4 and 8 both go into? And they both go into 8. You may have said something different. That's fine. Remember, you can have multiple answers here, but 8 is the smallest one. So I'm gonna do 8 and 8. I bring the 1 down because it's already with the 8, so I don't need to do anything there. I need to get this 4 into an 8. So 4 times what is 8? 2. If I multiply the denominator, I have to multiply the numerator. So I get 6. So 6/8 plus 1/8 is 7/8. Now this one's not more than a whole. 7/8 is here. It's less than a whole. So I just added on to the 3. I take these and I put them together. I add them together and my answer is 3 and 7/8. Okay, 3 and 7/8. Okay, so it was a little bit easier because you didn't have to convert that improper at the end. Okay, I got one more example for this one. Like I said, you can rewind these and look at them again, pause the video, make sure it makes sense, do the example with me. Okay, a lot of things here that kind of help you get a hang of this. I gotta clear that off and then do that. Okay, my third example is 2/5 plus 3/10. So notice there's not a number with the 2/5. Okay, that just means that it's actually less than 1. So there is no whole number. So when I take my whole numbers over here, it's just 5. I don't have anything else. So I'm going to bring the 2/5 and the 3/10 over here to add together. Okay, so I got to get a common denominator. So what number will 5 and 10 both go into? Okay, 5 and 10 will both go into 10. So 10 and 10. The 10's already here, so I just bring that 3 down. I don't need to do anything. Remember, you can multiply by 1. And then I look at the 5. What can I multiply 5 by to get 10? 2. 2 times 5 is 10. If I multiply the denominator by 2, I have to multiply the numerator by 2. So I get 4/10. Add those together, give me 7/10. So is that bigger than 1? Hopefully you said no, okay, because 7 is not bigger than 10, so this is not improper, this is just a regular fraction. So I'm going to take my whole number and take my fraction, I'm going to put them together. 5 and 7/10 is my answer. Okay. Okay. So, confused? Let's watch the second method. Okay, the second method may make more sense to you. We'll see. Like I said, one method's not better over another. This first method is actually the method I like to use, but the second method is just as good. Okay, so, okay, second method, I'm doing the exact same examples, okay, but I'm doing it with the second method. So second method says you're gonna write it as an improper, and then you're gonna add it. So go back to those first couple of slides I did, and you have to write this as an improper fraction. So 1 and 1/2. If you think about 1 and 1/2, that means you have a whole plus another half. And so if you wanted to kind of visualize that, it's divided into 2 pieces, okay, because it's a half. And you have a whole one, so that means you have 2 pieces. And then you have 1 more piece. Okay, so you have a whole one and then a half of a piece. That's 1 1/2. So you actually have 3 halves. And like I said, that method that I talked about of going 2, so that gives you 2 pieces plus your 1 additional piece. So 3 halves. This 2 will match this 2 all the time. Okay. And then let's look at the 5/6, or 2 and 5/6. So 2 and 5/6, let's go over these pictures on the side because I actually do these. That means you have a whole piece, another whole one, okay, because you have 2 whole circles here. And how many pieces, how many sixths does each one of those give you? Okay, you've got 6 colored in here, and we got 6 colored in here. And it's 2 and 5/6. So I've got 2 whole ones. Here's 1 whole one, 1 whole one. And then I have 5 more that I've got to color in. So I get a total of 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 5 is 17 sixths. Okay, so there's 5 here. So I get 17 sixths. So I'm going to put that up here. So I have converted both of them into a mixed or into an improper fraction. And now I just add it like okay. So the thing is, if you have not been taught how to do it into an improper fraction, I can see where that would be a little bit more confusing. So the other method may work better for you. Okay, so this one may not be as good for you, but that's completely up to you guys. Okay, so denominator, look at your 2 and your 6. What does 2 and 6 both go into? 2 and 6 both go into 6. So I put my 6 here, just like we did with Mondays. The 6 is already on the right side over here, so I just bring that 17 down. I don't need to do anything with it. No changing needed. But now I need to get the 2 to a 6. So what can I multiply 2 by to get 6? 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And if I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So 9 sixths. Right. Okay. So I'm going to add those two together. I keep the common denominator. Remember, that's the whole reason we do that. 9 plus 17 is 26. 26 sixths. And if you want to see if it matches that, this can actually be reduced to simplest form, or you can convert it back to a mixed fraction. So 6 will go into 26 4 times, which is 24, with 2 left over. 4 and 2 sixths, which reduces just like the last one did to 4 and 1/3. Okay, and I know this is a little bit more difficult. Hopefully your parents remember, or you can come sit with me on Zoom and we can talk about it. Okay, let's do another example. Okay, same examples I did before. 1 3/4 plus 2 1/8. So the difference here is we're going to convert this to an improper fraction first. Okay, so 1 3/4. So 1 means that I have 4/4. Where'd I get the fourths? Right here. Okay, so that means that I have a whole circle that's divided into 4s. So I have 4 out of 4 pieces plus 3/4 more, which gives me 7/4. Okay. Then 2 1/8. Okay, 2, now this one's split into 8 pieces. So it'd be like over here. I have 2 of them, and then 1 more piece. So my 2, actually, if I split into 8 pieces, that gives me 16 eighths. Okay, so I have 16 pieces of pizza, 2 pizzas, each are an eighth a piece, and then plus that additional 1 piece. So that's 17 eighths. So I'm going to take 7/4 plus 17 eighths, and I'm going to add them together just like we did on Monday's sheet. So I need to get a common denominator. So what does 4 and 8 both go into? Okay, 4 and 8 both go into 8. I can leave this one alone because the 8's already there, so I can just bring the 17 down. Now this one over here, I need to multiply. So 4 what is 8? 4 times 2 is 8. If I multiply the bottom by 2, I have to multiply the top by 2, so I get 14 eighths. Now that I have a common denominator, I can add those. So 14 plus 17 is 31 eighths. Remember, you keep that common denominator. And if I want to write this as a mixed fraction, this answer is fine. This is in simplest form. 31 and 8 have nothing in common. So you could actually leave your answer like this. Okay. or I will accept a mixed fraction, okay? 8 goes into 31 3 times. So think about 31 eighths. So how many do I get? So I'm gonna color this in black over here. So here's 8, here's 16, here's 24. If I color a whole nother circle, I'm at 32. I don't quite want to go to 32. So I have 24, so 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Oops, this one, 32. No, I don't want to go to 32. That's why I could 31. Sorry. Oops. Okay, 31. So there's only that one little piece left over that's not colored in. 7 out of the 8 pieces are colored in. So 3 7/8. You could also look at it as like 8 goes to 31 3 times with 7 left over. Okay, a couple of different ways to think about how these fractions work. That's probably how your parents learned it, so they'll want to do it that way. I promise I'm not doing Common Core here. Okay, so let's look at the third example. 2/5 and 5 3/10. Okay, now 2/5 is already good. We don't have to do anything with it because there's no number in front. So that one just is going to come over here. We're not doing anything with it. Now the 5 3/10. Okay, 5 3/10. So think about if I had a pizza cut into 10 pieces and I have 5 of these. How many pieces of pizza do I have? I have 5 pizzas that all have 10 pieces. So all in all, I would have 50 pieces of pizza. And then I have an additional 3/10. So I have 3 pieces also from a 6. I have 3 pieces in there. So plus the 3 gives me 53/10. So each one of these pizzas is a 10th. Okay, and I have 53 of those little pieces of pizza. That's what that means. Okay, so I'm going to take 2/5 and I'm going to add 53/10 to it. So I need to get my common denominator. So I got to look at my denominators, 5 and 10. What does 5 and 10 both go into? Okay, think about what number can 5 and 10 both go into, and it's 10. Okay, this one already has a 10, so I can just bring that 53 down, don't need to do anything. The 2/5, I need to get the 5 into a 10. So I'm going to multiply by 2. 5 times 2 is 10. What I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So 2 times 2 is 4. So 4/10. I've got my common denominator. So I'm going to put that at the bottom where it's supposed to be. 53 plus 4 is 57. That is a good answer if you leave it like that, or you can put it into a mixed fraction. Now, if you have 57 pieces of this pizza up here, that means you have 5 pizzas and 7 pieces of another pizza. So 10 goes into 57 5 times with 7 left over. Or think of the visual, 57 pieces. That means you have 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 gives you 50, and then you have 7 more. Okay. I'm hoping this makes some sense. Okay, so that is the end of my methods. So I've got the 2 methods. You choose which one you like. You do not have to do both. You're going to get the same answer. Okay, you watch the video again. Okay, go back and look at it again. See which one you like the best. You can also look in your workbook. There is some examples to look at where they kind of go through. I don't have the book with me at this exact second. Just look, I think it's page 398, actually, because the workbook starts right there. You can look at there for an example. Okay, so if you have my worksheet, that's actually what I prefer. It's actually the same numbers in the book this time, but it's a little easier to get to. So the worksheet that goes with this video is numbers 11 through 22. You're supposed to do 1 through 10 earlier. Pay attention to the examples, okay? Because I know some people were asking the questions. I put examples above everything so that you can see that. You can write it on your own piece of paper, Okay, then you need to take a picture of it and send it to me. If you can't access the worksheet, then these are the problems you want to do in the book. Okay, page 398, 99, numbers 1 through 6, and then page 401, numbers 1 through 6. And then remember, I have tutoring. I don't have any tutoring on Wednesday. Okay, I have a tutoring Thursday from 3 to 4, and then Friday from 10 to 11. I know we don't technically have school Friday, but I thought the worksheet is due Friday at noon. So I wanted to have one last little tutoring session in case you needed it. And be sure you include your name and your homeroom teacher so that I can get it to the correct teacher to get. So there'll be a new video. There's going to be new videos Monday and Wednesday. Get that worksheet to me by noon and come see me on Zoom if you need me. Okay, bye.